Welcome to Encore of Legends. I'm Kevin. Here we honor legendary figures whose stories continue to inspire beyond their final curtain. From film and music to sports and culture, we revisit their journeys, achievements, and unforgettable moments. Join us in celebrating lives that left a lasting impact and continue inspiring generations around the world. Actor and writer Stephen Hibbert, best remembered for his quirky and unforgettable appearance in Pulp Fiction, has passed away at the age of 68. Born in Fleetwood, England, Hibbert built a career that blended sharp comedic writing with distinctive on-screen performances. Before stepping in front of the camera, he made his mark behind the scenes as a comedy writer, contributing to the iconic late-night show, Late Night with David Letterman. His work reflected a clever, offbeat sense of humor that would later define his acting presence. Though his role in Pulp Fiction was brief and without dialogue, it became one of the film's most talked-about moments. Directed by Quentin Tarantino, the movie went on to achieve cult status, and Hibbert's unusual performance stood out as a testament to how even the smallest roles can leave a lasting impression. Colleagues and fans alike remember Hibbert as a creative spirit who embraced originality. He wasn't the loudest presence in the room, but his work carried a quiet confidence and uniqueness that resonated deeply with audiences. Whether writing jokes behind the scenes or appearing in unexpected roles, he brought a distinct voice to everything he touched. His journey from comedy writer to memorable screen presence serves as a reminder that impact in the entertainment world isn't always measured by screen time, but by authenticity and creativity. Hibbert's contributions, both seen and unseen, remain a meaningful part of his legacy. The culinary world is honoring the life and legacy of Elle Simone Scott, a beloved chef, food stylist, and vibrant on-air personality whose warmth and passion left an unforgettable mark. She passed at the age of 49, leaving behind a story defined by purpose, resilience, and deep love for her craft. Born in Detroit, Elle grew up in a home where food meant connection, comfort, and celebration. That early influence shaped her lifelong relationship with cooking, even though her journey didn't begin in the kitchen. She first worked as a social worker, dedicating herself to helping others, before courageously pursuing her true calling in the culinary arts. After training at the Culinary Institute of New York, she built an impressive career styling food for major networks and productions. In 2016, Elle broke new ground by becoming the first Black woman to join the cast of America's Test Kitchen. Her presence was more than representation, it was inspiration. With her approachable teaching style and genuine joy, she empowered countless home cooks to feel confident and creative in their own kitchens. Beyond television, Elle was a mentor and advocate. In 2013, she founded She Chef, a community built to support and uplift women of color in the culinary world. Through this work, she created lasting pathways for others to grow and succeed. Even through personal challenges, Elle remained a beacon of strength and positivity, using her voice to encourage awareness and support for others facing similar journeys. Elle Simone Scott's legacy lives on, in every shared meal, every inspired cook, and every barrier she helped break. She will always be remembered for the light she brought into the world. Brian Wilson, often regarded as the creative force behind the Beach Boys, was born on June 20th, 1942. From an early age, he showed an extraordinary sensitivity to sound, harmony, and emotion, qualities that would later define a generation of music. Wilson didn't just write songs. He reimagined what popular music could be. His work in the studio pushed boundaries, blending layered vocals with unconventional instruments and deeply personal themes. Albums like Pet Sounds became landmarks, influencing countless artists and changing how records were produced. For many listeners, his music captured something rare, a mix of youthful optimism and quiet introspection that felt both timeless and deeply human. Behind the brilliance, however, was a life marked by personal struggles. Wilson faced significant health challenges over the years, navigating both physical and emotional difficulties while continuing to create and inspire. His resilience became as much a part of his story as his music. Just days before his 83rd birthday, Brian Wilson passed away at the age of 82 following respiratory arrest. His passing marked the end of an era, but his influence remains woven into the fabric of modern music. More than just a musician, Wilson was a visionary, someone who heard possibilities others couldn't yet imagine. His legacy lives on not only in the songs he left behind, but in the way artists continue to approach creativity, experimentation, and emotional honesty. At 76, one of Hollywood's most iconic leading men lives far from the spotlight, not in disgrace, not by misfortune, but by deliberate choice. This is the man who made audiences around the world fall in love with Pretty Woman, whose presence on screen defined charm and desire for decades. He could have had anything Hollywood offered: blockbuster roles, red carpets, and adoring fans. Yet today, he lives in the streets of Madrid, raising 2 toddlers, estranged from the very industry that propelled him to global fame. His exile wasn't imposed, he orchestrated it himself. He traded studio demands and billion-dollar franchises for a life of spiritual devotion and personal integrity. This is the story of a man who willingly sacrificed fame for principle. Childhood in Syracuse, roots of restlessness. Richard Tiffany Gere was born on August 31, 1949 in Philadelphia, but his formative years unfolded in the small town of Syracuse, New York, a community of barely 5,000 residents. Life there was quiet, ordinary even, yet it was fertile ground for a restless spirit. His father, Homer George Gere, worked as an insurance agent, but carried a calling to help others, reminiscent of his aborted dream of becoming a Methodist minister. His mother, Doris Ann, was a homemaker whose warmth and music filled the household. Richard was the second of 5 children and the eldest son, and from the start he displayed curiosity, discipline, and a sense of searching that set him apart. Gymnastics, music, and intellectual exploration became his daily pursuits. The quest for meaning. Richard's early life was shaped not only by privilege and comfort, but by a deep sense of existential questioning. While many of his peers chased conventional success, he immersed himself in philosophy. At North Syracuse Central High School, he excelled academically and physically, mastering trumpet solos and perfect vaults alike. In 1967, he received a gymnastics scholarship to the University of Massachusetts Amherst, where he studied philosophy. He explored Jean-Paul Sartre's being and nothingness, Bishop Berkeley's ideas, and other thinkers who challenged reality itself. Religion, including his father's Methodist faith, offered compassion, but no answers to the questions burning in him. Why are we here? What is existence? What is real? Philosophy became a lifeline and a framework for his restless soul. The discovery of Buddhism. During his early 20s, Richard's search led him to Buddhism. Initially, he studied Zen under Kyozan Jushu Sasaki, practicing meditation and Tai Chi in a small New York apartment. He spent months in solitary meditation, trying to quiet the noise of a restless mind. The practice resonated deeply, creating a profound sense of belonging. Later, his travels took him to Nepal, where he encountered Tibetan monks and eventually met the Dalai Lama. The encounter changed his life, challenging his assumptions about acting, emotion, and desire. Buddhism, specifically the Gelugpa tradition, offered him guidance and clarity. It became not a casual interest, but a central part of his life, shaping his decisions, his perspective, and ultimately, his relationship to fame and fortune. Leaving college for the stage. Despite his philosophical pursuits, Richard's ambition to act could not be contained. College felt restrictive, and he dropped out after 2 years, leaving without a degree or a concrete plan. He moved to New York City in 1969, chasing the theater dream. Work was scarce, and survival was difficult. He slept in his car, scrambled to pay rent, and auditioned tirelessly. Early roles in regional theaters, including the Seattle Repertory Theater and Provincetown Playhouse, were stepping stones. His persistence eventually led to a breakthrough in the London stage production of Grease in 1973. Though it differed greatly from the sanitized Hollywood version, his portrayal of Danny Zuko captured attention and showcased the combination of charisma, discipline, and vulnerability that would define his screen presence. Hollywood beckons. By the late 1970s, Richard Gere's talent could no longer be ignored. Small roles in Looking for Mr. Goodbar, 1977, and Days of Heaven, 1978, introduced him to audiences and critics alike. These roles demonstrated his ability to transform completely for each character, earning him critical praise. Then came 1980, a watershed year with American Gigolo, which established him as a household name. Overnight, he became a sex symbol and leading man whose presence guaranteed box office success. Fame was thrilling but paradoxical. For a man immersed in Buddhist practice, constantly seeking detachment and mindfulness, the intoxicating lure of ego and adoration created tension. Hollywood demanded performance, yet he sought presence. It required ambition, yet he valued detachment. This duality would define his later choices. The Call of Spirituality. In 1978, a trip to Nepal with Brazilian painter Sylvia Martins changed everything. Beyond meeting the Dalai Lama, Richard was exposed to a way of life far removed from Hollywood glamour. He walked across Tibet, studied in remote monasteries, and embraced the teachings of Tibetan Buddhism fully. Meditation and spiritual practice became central to his identity. Hollywood could offer fame, wealth, and power, but it could not satisfy his deeper need for meaning, authenticity, and inner peace. For Richard Gere, the spiritual journey was not a hobby, it was a necessity. It offered answers philosophy and fame could not provide, a sense of purpose, compassion, and a life aligned with his deepest values. Peak fame and inner conflict. The 1980s were the pinnacle of Richard's Hollywood career. With films like An Officer and a Gentleman, Pretty Woman, and Internal Affairs, he became one of the most recognized and bankable stars of the era. Yet while audiences adored him, he grappled privately with the tension between fame and principle. Meditation, family, and activism became his anchor. Despite the red carpets and adulation, he felt a disconnect between the roles he played on screen and the life he wished to lead off it. His growing dedication to Buddhist principles created friction with an industry that prized ambition, image, and conformity over personal integrity. Choosing principle over profit. Richard's decisions in the late 1990s and 2000s shocked Hollywood. While other actors pursued franchises and commercial success, he walked away. He openly advocated for human rights in Tibet, defying political sensitivities, particularly in China, one of Hollywood's largest markets. His activism led to him being banned from the country, and studio calls dwindled. Major roles vanished. Many expected him to compromise, remain silent, and protect his career. Instead, he prioritized principle over profit, valuing truth, justice, and human dignity above fame. In doing so, he embraced exile, self-imposed, costly, and complete. Yet, paradoxically, this decision brought him a freedom Hollywood never offered. Life in exile. At 73, Richard Gere faced profound personal challenges. Raising 2 infant sons, living outside the industry, and navigating financial and physical strain tested him deeply. His body, once disciplined through gymnastics, nearly gave out under stress. Yet he persisted. Exile became a canvas for presence, authenticity, and fatherhood. Living in Madrid, away from Hollywood's glare, he embraced the simplicity of everyday life. Playtime with his children replaced premieres. Meditation replaced auditions. The pursuit of quiet, meaningful moments became the measure of success. Here, he discovered something the industry could never give: peace, purpose, and fulfillment rooted in love, mindfulness, and principle. Activism and legacy. Even in exile, Richard remained active. His advocacy for Tibet and humanitarian work became central to his life. The Hollywood machine may have attempted to erase him, but he refused invisibility. Speaking out came at a price, yet it allowed him to align action with belief. He demonstrated that one could achieve a different form of influence: moral, ethical, and spiritual impact, rather than commercial or celebrity-driven. His life became a model for living in alignment with values, teaching that legacy is measured not by fame or wealth, but by courage, integrity, and the quiet moments that define our humanity. Presence over performance. Richard Gere's journey illustrates a radical truth. The greatest achievement is not public acclaim, but personal authenticity. He rejected scripts written by others for a life written by his own conscience. Fame, money, and recognition became secondary to spiritual depth, family, and presence. In daily life, he embodied the teachings of Tibetan Buddhism: compassion, mindfulness, and detachment from ego. The man who once captivated the world on screen now demonstrates that real wealth is measured not in millions, awards, or adulation, but in the quality of attention we give to others and the moments we truly inhabit. Lessons from a life lived fully. Richard Gere's story is more than a celebrity narrative. It's a lesson in courage, integrity, and the power of choice. He shows that walking away from conventional success can lead to a richer, more meaningful life. That speaking truth, even at great cost, is an act of heroism. That love, presence, and authenticity outweigh applause. His journey encourages reflection. What do we truly value? How do we align our actions with our principles? By choosing love over ambition, presence over performance, and peace over prestige. He crafted a life that defies Hollywood norms, but fulfills the deepest human needs. The true measure of success. Ultimately, Richard Gere teaches that success and meaning are not synonymous. Hollywood measured him by box office, red carpets, and magazine covers. He measured himself by meditation, family, and moral courage. Real wealth, he discovered, is not in accolades, but in moments of connection, care, and presence. By prioritizing values over validation, he created a legacy that cannot be erased. While the industry may have abandoned him, he gained something far more enduring: a life of integrity, love, and authenticity. In this, he stands as an example of what it means to truly show up in the world. Choosing what truly matters, Richard Gere's life challenges us to reconsider our definitions of success. Fame, fortune, and recognition are fleeting. Presence, compassion, and love endure. By walking away from Hollywood's allure, embracing Buddhist teachings, and dedicating himself to family and principle, he found fulfillment that no marquee or studio could provide. Each day he lives the truth he discovered decades ago. Happiness comes from alignment with values, not external validation. His journey demonstrates that courage and integrity often demand sacrifice, but the rewards, peace, love, and purpose are immeasurable. In choosing what truly matters, he became more than a star. He became a model of human possibility. The legacy of Richard Gere. Richard Gere's story is not about the films he made or the fame he amassed. It's about the life he chose to lead. He reminds us that the most significant roles we play may not be on screens or stages, but in the quiet, intimate moments where love, courage, and presence define us. He teaches that leaving behind the world's expectations can lead to a life of meaning, that speaking truth can cost everything yet yield lasting fulfillment. In every laugh shared with his children, every act of kindness, and every moment of meditation, he demonstrates that the greatest legacy is not applause or wealth, but the depth of how fully we show up while alive.